are watching Channel Adrian TV.
Yo, YouTube, Rumble, Facebook, X, where you're watching this. Welcome to my AFC and NFC championship game reaction video. And y'all could tell I'm pretty excited. I got my Patriots hat. You see the Patriots helmet and the Patriots victory mug. Let me take a sip real quick. So, as you can tell, y'all, I'm excited. So let's go ahead and get straight into the games. Now, y'all, let's start with our game because I knew of the weather conditions. I knew that game wasn't going to be a high-powered game, not a lot of offense, especially towards the second half, because if you was watching the game, it turned into an old school, literally just run the whole game, smash mouth football. Now, the only reason we were able to win was because of the backward pass, sit them through instead of taking that sack, because at that time we had to play great field position and with the conditions. So I understood why he didn't want to take the sack, but in hindsight, I'm pretty sure Stidham wouldn't want to he would have took that sack, because just because of that play, we was able to score. That gave us the game right there because we only won by 3 points. Now I know Sean Payton is going to kick himself for not taking that field goal so they could go up 10-0, because if you were watching the game like I was, Denver scored first and they had a chance to put them up 10-0, but they didn't kick the field goal. And I know it's a lot easier now to say that, but because of the weather conditions, but literally those few mistakes and that decision help us win the game. And overall, I'm excited being back into the Super Bowl. It's been a while. And when you look at the stats, like I said, you look at Drake May's stats, only 86 yards, QBR 62.6. You look at Stidham, 133 yards. His QBR 19.6. I didn't know, yeah, and Drake May got sacked 5 times. Stidham got sacked 3 times. If you look overall, like I said, it wasn't that much offense. Now, towards the beginning of the game, before it started to snow, there was more passes. But like I said, in the second half, pretty much became into a run, ground and pound type of game. And overall, I'm excited for how our defense performed, even though it was against Stidham. Early on, they scored so easily, I was starting to get a little afraid. I was starting to get scared, because that first 2 drives, they were marching it down the field. But thankfully, Stidham had that turnover that pretty much changed the momentum. We only have one more game, just one more game. But unfortunately, we're gonna have to play the Seahawks. And the reason I say unfortunately is because I wanted us to go against the Rams, because the Rams defense has been suspect towards the second half of this season. The Seahawks defense, it's going to be tough. Yeah, the Seahawks defense scare me, as far as they're going to be able to get pressure on May. And they have a lot of all pros on their team, so it's going to be tough for us. That's why I did say I wanted the Rams to win, because if the Rams would win, it would be a lot easier for us offensively. But to speak of this game was an up and down game, very close. The turning point, where I would say where momentum shifted, is when the punt returner from the Rams muffed the punt, when he misjudged the ball and he started to fall back. In my personal opinion, like I said, I know it's easier to say it now, but if you're starting to fall, I wouldn't even catch the ball. I would have just let the ball roll out. Something as small as that, a tiny mistake of falling and touching the ball, it could pretty much change the whole game. And to me, that point, from then on, Seattle had all the momentum. And if you look at the stats, look, Stafford, 22 out of 35, 374 yards, 3 TDs. QBR at 81.5. Sam Darnold, 25 out of 36, 346 yards, 3 TDs, QBR 82.9. They both quarterbacks was out there slinging. Now, what I will say is Sam Darnold has performed this whole time, because in previous seasons, especially last year, there will be times where Sam Darnold will come back to earth. But maybe with the Seahawks and the coaching staff with the Seahawks, Sam Darnold finally took this step, because you got to remember, he came into the draft class with Lamar and Josh Allen, and to see him actually get to the Super Bowl to have a chance to win it, if he's able to win it ahead of Lamar Jackson and Josh Allen, he may not have the numbers they have. He may not be a Hall of Fame quarterback when he's done, but that's a pretty impressive feat to get a Super Bowl ahead of those 2 quarterbacks, which a lot of people would say, and I would say that Lamar Jackson and Josh Allen are better than Sam Darnold. But if he's able to win this Super Bowl, you have to think to yourself, they may have better tools than him, but when it comes to stepping up in the clutch and actually performing, you gotta call it how you see it. He's performing. And now, y'all, we finally have the final game that's gonna be in Santa Clara the Seattle Seahawks versus the New England Patriots. Now, right now, odds makers have Seattle -4. So in other words, if y'all don't know what that means the odds makers expect the Seattle to win by 4 points. And hopefully, I don't know if you could tell, y'all know who I'm going for. And this is a rematch from the 2015 Super Bowl, where we all know instead of running it with Marshawn Lynch, they decided to throw a pass on the 1-yard line, and the pass gets intercepted. And one of my favorite memories, well, I don't want to say one of mine, of course, coming back against Atlanta, that'll probably be my top memory, but that interception against the Seahawks will probably be number 2. And y'all, it's been a great run for the football season. I'll probably do one more video after the Super Bowl, which will be a Super Bowl recap of the game. I just want to say, y'all, I appreciate all the support y'all giving me on football and FanDuel this whole entire year. Y'all can expect me to do this every single year from now on. But when it comes to sports, since after the Super Bowl, I'm going to shift to basketball, and then when baseball picks up, I'll get into that as well. I know some of y'all like to go to Super Bowl parties. Me personally, when my team is in it, I don't want to go to a Super Bowl party. I'm gonna be locked in this room with my Patriots cup and my Patriots shirt on, watching the game. So y'all, I just want to say I appreciate all of the support. If you want sneaker reviews, morning motivation, workout motivation, police body cams, FanDuel videos, sports, Ask Adrian videos, anything you could think of, subscribe to Channel Adrian TV and go Pats.